power. Finishing out the weekend, lots of sunshine, a few afternoon clouds, mid to upper 40s. Fall back to 30 Sunday night. Jeff Eno, the Weather Channel for Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Trump White House is madness.
Madness? Like it's madness how incredible the country's doing?
Madness is on everyone's mind.
If I filled out a bracket, it would be absolutely perfect.
Check in often for all the madness on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
And now more of the Pat McDonough Show on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We have a lot of callers. We're going to go to everybody very quickly. But as I've been traveling around, as I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show, the opportunity to meet so many people, I'm a little surprised, to be fair about it, at how many people listen to this radio show. A lot of people listen to this radio show on a Saturday night. Now, we've been promoting the heck out of it. We've done 30,000 pieces of mail that have gone out with brochures and stuff. And on those brochures, we have promotion of this radio show. So it is obviously working, ladies and gentlemen. Here is Mark in Baltimore. Mark, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Chifoto, Pat. And I have to get to bed a little early tonight. You know, we changed the clocks here tonight, and I have to get my 7 hours sleep.
Well, thank you for calling and letting us know that. I appreciate it, Mark.
I appreciate that. Thank you. One comment I do want to say, the resident and the taxpayer in Baltimore City, I am also concerned about Mayor Pugh using a certain amount of funding to send students on 60 buses down to the big national march 2 Saturdays from now. My question is, where's she going to get the money? Or is she going to spend the money on sending students down to the National Right to Life March in January or the upcoming Maryland March for Life that's coming Monday night?
Well, that's the point.
Where's the money coming from?
Yes, and where does she get the right to enter politics into our education system, partisan politics, and do these kinds of things? I mean, they won't teach any civics. They don't teach history. They don't teach viewpoints that are diverse and democratic in senses. And but they go into a partisan political thing. See, here are gone are often the spontaneous political rallies of the old days when hippies and their ilk simply hit the street for a cause. The upcoming March for Our Lives rally, planned around the nation in response to this Parkland school shooting last month, are meticulously organized, bear carefully calibrated messages, and boast vigorous social media plus funding. That's what we're dealing with. Michael Bloomberg has put $3 million into this thing. So this is an organized political march, protest, activity, and they're getting these, there's two wrongs here, Mark. Number one, they're using the public school system, which is inappropriate for this type of thing. And number two, they're brainwashing and misleading our children.
Right. They're also going to be paying for private schools or parochial schools or whatever day schools do this, or is it only for public schools?
Well, in some cases, they're going out, and certain people, the lefties, are drumming up money for the private schools.
I understand. I just want to remember, if you're going to do something for the living, let's do something for the unborn, okay? Because they are future citizens. They're not even born yet, and this is really bad. But keep up the good work, and I wish you all shalom.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to talk with Mike in Parkville. Mike, good evening.
Hi, how you doing? It's also in Baltimore County schools. Villa Crest's elementary school's principal sent out notice, and just the first sentence is, as a part of the national show of activation to call for an end to gun violence in the wake of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, students across the country are planning a walkout on March 14th. To me, I guess the students just decided that.
No, this is all planned, calibrated, and organized by the radical left, George Soros, Michael Bloomberg. And that's their right to do that. That's okay. The point is, where do the school systems come in and have a right to brainwash, mislead, organize, and force our children to do things that they really don't know about, don't understand? There should be forums at every school. There should be debates at every school, and both sides should be heard on this issue. Where is the information going out about the Obama policy on discipline, which caused this problem and caused this tragedy and will cause more because it's in Baltimore County?
Well, yeah, I believe this is because all this activism stuff is a smokescreen to cover up the hands-off policy that creates this in the first place.
What's the hands-off policy?
Basically, that they will not arrest juveniles.
Well, yeah, that's true. It permeates from top to bottom. It goes right out into the streets where the criminals are, where the drugs are, where the gangs are, where the young people are used as mules for the drug trade and the gangs, and they're let off easier and easier. And we've got all this motion and movement in Maryland and other states about we've got to let these juveniles out. It goes right into the home where there's no discipline or consequences, and then it goes right into the school system. And in Baltimore County, 322 incidents last year, 35% increase, and it's all related to this Obama policy. But I'm going to tell you, and I've told everybody before, and it was in the Baltimore Sun a little bit today, I will implement TS, total security. There will be an armed professional in every school. There will be the most modern technology in every school. There will be training in every school. My county police will be what is called perimeter access. They will be near the schools on a regular basis. And besides that, we will have a discipline policy where it says if you were bad, you were going to go. We're not going to mess around with this nonsense about being soft on discipline. I have an aide that works for me, and she has a little girl who went to school for the first time in kindergarten. Her first day in school, she was attacked on the bus. So this is going to stop, and this is going to be a big issue in this county, a huge issue in this county, and I'm going to make it an issue, and the people in this county are going to have to decide whether they want the Baltimore County school system and policy and Common Core and all of this other nonsense that goes on in this county to continue, or they want somebody that's going to stand up and change it.
I agree, and that's where people need to decide. And what I see happening with this particular event is essentially the exploitation and indoctrination of not only the children, but the parents.
Good point, Mike. Good point. All right, that's true. Mike is right, because the parents are getting all. What control do the parents have? The parents say to the high school kid, you can't go, you can't do this. And what about the parents that are actually patriotic and understand the Constitution and understand the Second Amendment and understand this issue? And what about some of the young people? I have a lot of young people that work for me, I can tell you. And they are not in this mindset that it's all about guns. They have a different viewpoint. All right, we're going to talk to Bob, who wants to talk about the mayor. Bob, good evening.
How are you this evening, Pat?
Oh, I'm on fire.
Yep. Before I get to that, I just wanted to congratulate you for the Dallas Stance conviction. The fact that he pled guilty to all 4 counts. The fact that he didn't disclose the $147,000 that he got in consulting fees. I mean, he dug his own grave. He did it.
Yeah, but you know, Bob, here's what is interesting. If you go back 4 years ago down to Annapolis during the session, Dallas Stance and the president of the school board were addressing the Baltimore County delegation, all of us. And I sit right where the witnesses come in. I'm like right in their face. So we had already had the incidents with Soups Academy and the money and the question. And he had already admitted that he did it. I said to Dallas Stance, do you think you violated the ethics law? And he said to me, no. And I said to the president of the school board, do you think he violated the ethics law? And the school board president said, yes. And I said, well, what are you going to do about it? And the school board president said, nothing. We think he's learned his lesson. At that point, I knew that everything would go away, right? I went right to the ethics commission and filed a formal complaint and presented my case, and we won the case. I knew it was an easy win. We won it. And by winning that case, that put him on record as not Mr. Pure.
Yeah, and when you read the article Friday by Liz Bowie, as you mentioned, the first 5 paragraphs, you you'd have thought this guy walked on water. I mean, it was all just this flowery praise about how great he was, you know, and a lot of people don't read a whole article. Later in the article, there was the bad stuff, and a lot of people don't get that far. But to me, you know, Dan, the problems he had, Common Core, he promoted that, which is garbage. And the other thing about giving everybody a computer, let the kids earn the computer, hold a bake sale, a lemonade or snowball stand, you know, earn money. There's ways to earn money, you know, and that's garbage to hand them computers. That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
$275 million. $70 million a year, and I can tell you we're going to stop that because I control the budget, okay? So guess what my budget's going to say? Instead of $75 million a year, it's going to say $35 million a year. I'm only going to give them money for older kids, but the little ones, 1 through 6, I believe in teacher-centric education for the young ones. And we're going to take that $35 million we're going to save, and we're putting that into TS, Total Security, and we're putting it into programs like civics, drug awareness, financial literacy, the Patriots program. That's the things. Like, I'm not the school board, and I'm not the superintendent of the schools, but guess who I am? I'm the banker. And he who has the money has what? The power.
Right.
I'll tell you, they're in for a radical awakening in November of this year.
Maybe you can streamline the process too, where kids can be entrepreneurs about, you know, putting up lemonade stands and all. Maybe you can look into that. That would be a good idea.
We will have a lemonade stand on every corner and a chicken in every pot.
Well, anyway, first, just to get to Mayor Pugh real quick, there should have been a front page headline in the Sun. Pugh tattooed Laura Ingraham scores first round knockout. All she wanted to do was get on there and filibuster, and Laura Ingraham would have none of it, and she definitely held her ground, and I thought it was great. And if these left-wing politicians want to get on there and filibuster, they're going to have another thing coming, and I'm glad.
Every politician from Baltimore that has been on Fox with a Fox reporter has been, as you say, tattooed. They have been exposed to how foolish they are, because there you have someone who is smart and is not going to take nonsense and is going to expose them. And I mean, the mayor looked like a fool.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Bob. And we have some callers. We also have some open lines finally. Anyway, 410-922-6680, 410-922-6680. When we come back, we are going to take a little bit of time and we're going to look at this lax discipline policy that kept this gunman off of the police records. Obama's original aim was to end what he called the cycle of school to prison. I got to tell you, most kids don't go from school to prison. Would you agree with that? I mean, there are some, and because that happens, it has a lot to do with the home or a place like Baltimore City where there is no discipline and where the children are not really given a break when they're young to go on the right path, and they live in the greatest industry in America, the drug industry, and you know, it's like in the top 500, maybe the top 50, the drug industry in Baltimore City, and they become victims of this nonsense, and then they go from school to prison, not because they are sent home to their mamas. That doesn't send them to prison. That helps them to stay out of prison. You idiots. We'll be right back.